The story begins with two people carrying a coffin, called Ashaf and a girl named Guideau, getting off a train. They seem sad and are looking for a special sorceress. They ask the first girl they meet if she knows about such powers or has seen the sorceress. Guideau seems impatient and Ashaf apologizes for her behavior, explaining that she gets too excited about magic. They do not know what the sorceress looks like, but luckily they meet a girl named Marie who knows about her. Marie says it is not just luck that they found her, as everyone knows about the witch they are looking for. Suddenly, a monstrous entity wreaks havoc outside, shattering all the glass. Ashaf and Guideau suspect a powerful magic user's involvement, believing it to be the witch they seek. However, Marie refutes their assumption, asserting that their target is not responsible. In the streets, the witch defeats the monster with a potent spell, earning praise as a hero. This surprises Ashaf, considering her use of magic, while Marie, her apprentice, gleefully organizes a meeting for Ashaf and Guideau. Ashaf cautions against impulsiveness, but Guideau disappears nonetheless. Marie meets Lone, anticipating their plans. Meanwhile, a man with shark-like features is displeased with the adulation Lone receives. Guideau attacks Lone, halted only by Lone's intervention. Guideau accuses Lone of forgetting her, but Lone denies it. Ashaf intervenes, urging Guideau to trust him, but the crowd becomes hostile. Using magic, Ashaf escapes with Guideau. Later, they discover the history of a past curse and find themselves at Lone's castle, guided by information Ashaf acquired from a pamphlet. Guideau distrusts witches, but Lone appears different. Marie welcomes celebrating women, annoying Guideau. Guideau's insults confuse Marie. Ashaf cautions against blind trust, noting shady details about a supposed curse. Marie grows impatient, but Ashaf urges further investigation. He discovers unsettling truths about the past. Reluctantly, he agrees to Guideau's plan to continue. They encounter police under Lady Witch's control, confirming Lone's malevolence. Ashaf causes chaos with crows, but they face police resistance. Guideau plans to confront Lone, but awakens without hands and feet. Lone confesses to turning them into tools for an evil plan, igniting a city-consuming fire. Lone shocks Marie by revealing her falsely accused grandmother's connection. The fire's anniversary marks its resurgence. Ashaf impresses Lone but warns against trusting witches. Guideau attempts to stop Lone, but Ashaf suggests an alternative. Guideau kisses a witch. Dark energy transforms Guideau into a powerful creature who defeats Lone. Ashaf explains their mission to restore order. Guideau's triumph ends the fire, prompting them to find their true target. Marie and others return to normal, reflecting on their mission. With their task complete, they depart as the city improves. A woman walking home alone is attacked by an unseen assailant. Meanwhile, our main group is tasked with capturing a magical creature by a collector. Ashaf handles the task alone, impressing with his magic skills. Despite Guideau's reluctance to fight a normal creature, Ashaf succeeds in capturing it. After the job, they plan to celebrate, but Guideau is unhappy, wanting to find witches. Ashaf reminds her of their duties and warns against insubordination. They receive a message from the Order for their next job. At the next job, Guideau mistakes their client for a witch, but she is not. Ashaf easily opens a chest for their client, while Guideau is annoyed by the lack of witches involved. Ashaf emphasizes the importance of taking non-witch cases seriously, and Guideau reluctantly agrees. Once Guideau's curse is lifted, she vows revenge, eagerly awaited by Ashaf. Not encountering witches for a month suggests the curse's duration. They receive a job via a black envelope, hinting at witches causing havoc in a distant city. Ashaf withholds part of the letter, indicating a challenging task involving a witch and a magic book. Guideau, unaware of the full details, is excited about the job. Meanwhile, Detective Miss Haynes plans to apprehend a witch responsible for gruesome killings, feeling the weight of responsibility as the sole mage in the city. Ashaf and Guideau, posing as the Order, offer assistance, albeit met with suspicion from Haynes, who ultimately agrees to collaborate after obtaining the mayor's permission. Ashaf emphasizes the need for urgency, as the Paladin Corps will soon intervene. He suspects the mayor of delaying to take credit for resolving the issue. Despite Haynes's authority as the city's sole mage, Ashaf questions if she is merely following the mayor's orders. Guideau grows impatient, urging haste in solving the case while Haynes cautions against meddling with dangerous witches. Ashaf attempts to diffuse the tension, but Haynes remains steadfast. They agree to talk in private using a spell Haynes made that can tell if someone is lying. Ashaf and Guideau tell Haynes about their mission to lift a curse put on Guideau by a witch, but they do not have much to go on. Guideau wants revenge, which makes Haynes realize they have personal reasons for wanting to help. Haynes trusts them because they are trying to do something good, so she admits she made up the truth-telling spell, which makes Guideau mad. But she agrees to let them help, and plans to meet again the next morning. While they are making plans, the witch hunts someone else and laughs crazily. The bad witch leaves mysterious messages, including one revealing her identity as witch. The police dismiss the messages as insignificant until Detective Haynes discovers they are from a book. They investigate a bookstore linked to the book, finding a dead body with magical wounds. Haynes believes the witch's messages are part of a dangerous game. Ashaf advises Haynes to rest, but she fears getting too close. Another death occurs with a message about a witch's curse. Guideau warns Ashaf of impending danger, but they return to an explosion at the hotel. Ashaf scolds Guideau for her impulsiveness as a mysterious person appears. They inform Haynes of the incident, and Ashaf suspects the witch targeted her. Ashaf asks Haynes about the witch's possible motives to attract the Paladin's attention. Guideau contemplates how she would lure the Paladins if she were the witch. The witch targets Ashaf and Guideau instead of Haynes, leading to Haynes sharing her past trauma. Her house burned down, hinting at the witch's involvement. Guideau encourages revenge, while Ashaf worries. Another message announces the witch's imminent arrival at the station. Haynes wonders if they can handle her, but Guideau is confident. Ashaf keeps a secret about a bag from Haynes. They discuss breaking the curse and confronting the witch. Ashaf warns of the witch's powers and urges caution. When the witch appears, Ashaf reveals he has already located her. Ashaf explains that the sudden increase in crows indicates they can locate the witch. They track her down, but she injures a policeman before Guideau's attempt to ambush her is thwarted by someone else. Ashaf reprimands Guideau for her impulsive actions. To everyone's surprise, two individuals revealed to be Haynes's sons are identified as non-witches. They admit to deriving power from Sarasu's grimoire, a malevolent book that necessitates immoral acts to sustain their abilities. Despite their pleas and accusations against Haynes, Ashaf and Guideau easily disarm them. Haynes confronts her sons, recalling their betrayal of their mentor, Reuben. Refusing to forgive them, she ends their lives, recognizing their corrupted nature. Guideau blames Ashaf for their predicament, but he clarifies that it was the Order's decision. Haynes expresses gratitude, and Ashaf decides to confiscate the dangerous books, although aware of their perilous nature. Haynes accepts the books. As they depart, Ashaf advises Haynes to seek assistance if another witch poses a threat, offering here solace. After completing a job, Ashaf and Guideau encounter a crazed undead being chased by the police. Ashaf explains that the undead are brought back with magic but must be cared for, or they lose their minds. The Order of Magical Resonance specializes in this, with experts like Johann and Fenora. Officer Jeff reports increasing attacks by crazed undead. Fenora explains the rules for bringing back the dead, including family permission and awareness of risks. Meanwhile, a woman is offered help to revive a loved one despite her inability to pay. Fenora discovers 4 individuals are reviving 21 undead against standard practices. Jeff empathizes with the desire to reunite with loved ones, but worries about the consequences. Johann advises Jeff not to call the undead creatures, as Fenora dislikes it. Fenora demonstrates a lantern attracting crazed undead, reminding Jeff of his decision not to revive his fiancée, fearing she would return as a monster. They prepare for battle against over 40 undead, drawing them with the lantern, although Johann struggles. After defeating them, they notice missing body parts, suggesting poor revival methods. Different revival methods offer varying control, with the lantern attracting those with cognitive ability. Jeff is angered by their exploitation and opposes bringing back the dead. He observes most undead are red-haired women, worrying they may be revived too. Johann explains they disposed of the bodies, but their souls remain tethered, leaving room for resurrection if cared for. Suddenly, one of the undead grabs Fenora, so Johann kills it quickly. Johann says sorry for missing one, realizing they were being watched. They follow the undead's trail to a big house in the woods. Johann gets attacked, so Jeff shoots at the person. A woman welcomes them, but her voice is actually a man's. Even though Jeff wants to leave, the person who brought back the dead convinces them to stay, saying he won't hurt the woman. Jeff is shocked when the person knows his name and shows him his fiancée. To make Jeff do what he wants, he threatens Fenora and says he will bring back Johann if they help him. In a memory, a doctor plans to bring his loved one back to life after a fire. Johann's body is taken away and Jeff sees Fenora's concern for him. They meet the person who revived Johann, apologizing when their assistant collapses due to loss of control. The large house is filled with undead helpers, indicating multiple people are reviving them. Fenora believes the reviver does not do a good job, requiring less magic. The reviver acknowledges the difficulty of bringing the undead back and their suffering. Normally, souls prepare for reincarnation after death, but revival disrupts this process, trapping them in the void upon death again. The reviver cares only about appearance and lost someone too, unable to recognize their burnt body. They seek someone with intact features to create new creatures. Jeff is surprised by their motive, but the reviver believes everyone prioritizes differently. Despite their abilities, the reviver wants Fenora captured for following rules, not aiding them. Feeling the cold, Fenora reveals she is not just a necromancer, but also a witch, surprising the person. He threatens Johann to manipulate Fenora, but she dismisses Johann as worthless. Fenora warns against using his undead, explaining they lack intelligence and are destined for a bleak fate. She challenges the Death Knights, urging them not to harm Jeff. With Johann's unexpected arrival, the person is startled. Johann discloses his undead status created by a witch and demonstrates his unique healing ability. Despite the person's plea, Johann chooses punishment over execution, joined by Johann and Fenora in administering it. Fenora shoots the person to prevent his resurrection as undead and plans to restore his creations to normalcy. Though morally ambiguous, Jeff finds solace in the prospect of reuniting with his fiancée and understands Fenora's drive to safeguard others. Guideau wakes up hungry, and Ashaf reminds her of their mission to find a witch. They head to a different continent where the Paladin Corps might interfere. The city is being evacuated due to the witch threat. Ashaf devises a plan to pass through security by claiming a visit to his grandma. They knock out a guard but refrain from killing. Commander Kugat is reprimanded for seeking the witch alone. Ashaf explains the Paladin Corps' fortress and the city's barriers. They plan a covert entry. Ashaf praises Guideau's partnership, but she urges haste. Suddenly, they encounter a man whom Guideau identifies as the witch. Inside, the witch expresses fear of dying alone. Guideau confronts the witch in battle, while Ashaf advises keeping her occupied. Ashaf weakens the witch and traps her in a bubble, confirming her identity despite Guideau's doubts. Inside the castle, an emissary warns of Helga's danger due to her connection with the powerful sorceress Quina. Helga breaks free, wielding the demon sword Ashgan. Ashaf battles Helga, pondering the sword's strength compared to Guideau's. As they engage, Ashaf insists they only want to help Helga escape the Paladin Corps. Despite the demon sword's suggestion, Helga refuses assistance. Ashaf recalls Helga's ancestors hiding the sword, implying her reasons for revealing it now. Helga hesitates to harm them, prompting Ashaf to protect them with a barrier. He urges Helga to join them, but she leaves, thanking them strangely. Ashaf realizes Helga is not their target and plans to ensure her safety. Meanwhile, Cugat arrives, prompting Guido to intervene, vowing to handle him herself.